Good afternoon. So excited to have you here. My name is Natasha Christine. I am the founder of Natasha Christine Coaching, here to help small business moms earn their full-time income working part-time hours. If you are here, it's because you are looking for solutions to help you work smarter, work less, decrease the burnout that you're experiencing as a business mom. I completely relate. We will absolutely get into my story as we go, telling you a little bit about the background. And what we're going to be talking about today is we are going to be talking about my program called Success Without the Sacrifice. I truly do believe that moms in business, we can have both. We can have an incredible relationship with our family, with our partner, with our kids, and we can also run a successful business that financially supports us, that contributes to our family, that gives us a sense of purpose, that gives us a sense of joy and contribution and creativity. And it's not an either or. You know, I see women all the time who are just trying to do both, and they're burning out and they're feeling bad and they're feeling the guilt, and they're feel like they're dropping their ball in their business. And I just want to encourage you that that is totally optional. It does not have to be like that. And so in today's video, I'm going to be taking you through my exact process of how do you do that? How do you enjoy success without the sacrifice? How is that done? So what I'm going to teach you today is learning how to earn your full-time income while working only part-time hours. And I know sometimes people hear that and people tell me, they're like, oh, that sounds like network marketing, or that sounds like something else. And it's just like, no, I'm here to teach you how to do it in your current business. We're not going to change your career. I'm not going to give you a different business opportunity. Let's imagine you're in real estate. Let's imagine you run a consulting company. Let's imagine you're a real estate appraiser, whatever your business is. I am here to teach you how to earn the same amount of income or more working in half the time in your same business. Because it's not your fault. How many of us have been taught you have to work hard to make money? If you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. Building a business requires sacrificing everything that is not related to growing your business. Outsourcing is hard. It brings so many problems. You just need to be better at time management. How many of us have heard that? The secret to work less, earn more is in finding and using the right productivity tool. I'm here to debunk those myths for you today. Because if you've been concerned in the past that you don't know how to work less hours without it negatively affecting your business income, I'm here to put those fears to rest that you can do this. This is one thing that I hear a lot is as I talk to business women, is the idea that, okay, if they're working a 40, 50-hour week, for example, they have no idea of how they could earn that same money. They have responsibilities, they have childcare expenses, they have a mortgage, they have their family, they have whatever their expenses are. And they think that the idea of working less means half the income. And that's not the case, right? That is absolutely not the case. You just need the right person to teach you how to do it. So the success without the sacrifice secret is the only way to achieve this, to earn your full-time income while working part-time, is to create a loyal, reliable, amazing team that can help you get it all done. I am not a productivity trainer. I am not a time management trainer. Many people in productivity, in the world of productivity, time management, efficiency, is like, let's get these 100 things done faster. I hate that. I hate everything about that. How about this? How about instead of me trying to achieve 100 things, I focus on 10 and I get rid of 90. How about that? How about that as a time management tip, right? But how do you do that? How do you get rid of 90% of the things on your list? Well, you can't just do it. You can't just dump it and not do it. We have responsibilities. But what if someone else could do it? And we know as businesswomen, we've heard delegation, but there's a lot of stress generally around that. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But the key to your freedom, if you've ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the key to your freedom is other people's time, other people who need a job, other people who have the skills to support you so you don't have to do it all, right? You've been unfairly misled. In the world of women in business, we see all the time women who do it all or super mom, and they have all these achievements. But what you don't see is the people behind them. You don't see the nanny, the housekeeper, the assistants, the staff. They don't talk about that part. They talk about, I am a self-made woman. If you pull away the curtain, you are going to see that that is just not true. You're going to see that there is an entourage of people behind this woman. There is someone who, maybe her kids carpool to school. There is a meal delivery service. There is a virtual assistant. There is an accountant. There is someone helping. But our culture teaches us and shows us this picture of this woman who does it all without breaking a sweat, looking great, amazing relationship, amazing mom, amazing career. They don't tell you the other side of that. She's not doing it alone. She's not. Nobody does. So if you're feeling like you're failing because you're not doing it alone, I want to encourage you, it's a lie. Nobody does it alone. No such thing as self-made. Absolutely no such thing. And so who does this work for? Who does this system work for? The idea of full-time income, part-time hours through building an incredible team. Who can benefit from that information? If you're a solopreneur, meaning it's just you, you're just getting started, you haven't hired anybody yet, this program will absolutely teach you how to do that, how to do it right the first time, how to build that skill set of team building right from the beginning so you don't waste any time in doing it wrong. The solopreneur who tried hiring someone and got bad results and then they're hesitant to try again. I see this all the time with my clients. People are like, oh, I tried it. They weren't any good. It was a big waste of money. And then they kind of coiled back and now they're solopreneur again. So they tried it, they reached out, they tried it, didn't work. They didn't have the skills to build incredible teams. So they went back into their trap and now they're still working 40, 50 hours a week, but now they're afraid to try something new. A micropreneur, meaning someone with 1 to 5 teammates, who is still working crazy hours and is not convinced they've hired the right people on the bus. I see this a lot as well with my clients. They have a team, they have some people, but they're not very good. And so the client is still doing everything. They're still doing all the quality assurance. They're fixing mistakes. They're chasing. They're running this adult daycare, which is absolutely not the idea at all. Team building should be freeing, liberating, empowering. It should not be hard. It should not be something that makes your life more difficult. And then as well, a micropreneur with a small team of 1 to 5 who is still working crazy hours and is not convinced they have the skills yet to manage a team. So you may have the wrong people. So knowing how to find the right people is a huge part of the team building. However, you also may think you have good people, but you don't know how to manage them, don't know how to lead them, don't know how to get the best out of them. So this program, if you can identify with any of those categories, this is absolutely for you. Because without a team, you're stuck. So in the next 60 minutes, my goal is to get you to believe that whether you're hiring your first person or your third person, the success without the sacrifice system is the key to earning your full-time income working part-time hours as a business mom. That is what I'm here to show you, is why that is true. And I'm going to show you the simple framework to help you get there. So the disclaimer, as every disclaimer, is team building is a skill. It's not a magic pill. Like anything, like you learning how to run your business, do what you do, you had to learn how to do what you do. Whether you're an interior designer or a graphic designer or you're a landscaper, same concept. You had to learn how to do it. So what we're going to talk about today is the basics, but knowing how to do this is a skill that is completely learnable. And I'm here to help you learn how to do that. So a bit about me. I am a mom of 3. I have 3 teenagers. My kids are 16, 17, and 14. I'm the oldest of 6 children. So I have technically been leading teams for 40 plus years. If you ask my mom, she's like, I was a born team leader. I've run my own businesses for 20 plus years. Technically, I've run my own business since I was 13. So tons of experience in entrepreneurship. I've never actually had a day job. So I've always run my own business. I am a professionally trained project manager. I have a PMP, ACP, and Scrum Master certifications, meaning I know how to do this. I know how to get things done. I know how to organize projects. I know how to run crews. I know how to get work done in efficient ways. I am professionally trained to do that. And as well, like I said, a mom of 3 teens, best project management training, best team leadership training probably that ever exists, right? How do you get everyone on board? Communication skills, conflict management, definitely my area of expertise. Professionally, I have run a web design, web development business called On Purpose Projects for 8 years. I have anywhere between 5 to 8 people, depending on how busy we are. I have multiple full-time people working with me. I have been nominated now 3 times for Canada's RBC Women of Influence Award. I have a top-rated score of A+ on the Better Business Bureau. I lead a team that I absolutely love and I can't wait to work with every day. And all that to say is that I run my business part-time, but it's not that we have hack results or low quality results. We have incredible results. My team is fantastic. I can still pull off high performance results without working all the time. I do not have to manage everything. I do not have to do everything. I do not have to see everything. It is absolutely doable to maintain the same level of quality or better through building a team. So I know a lot of women feel they're afraid. They have a control issue, like no one can do it better than me. And I'm here to tell you that is absolutely not true. And then for my team, people who love to work with me. I'm not going to go through all of these, but my team write me reviews. They love to work with me. I am a fantastic boss. I know how to keep people around. One of the things about team leadership is the churn, right? People coming in, people leaving, people like stability issues, consistency issues. I've had the same team in my business, honestly, since day one. I've never had anybody quit except to maybe make a completely different career change. I've never had anybody quit because they didn't like working with me. And so I can teach you how to do that, how to build people who love to work with you. They're not just people who show up for a paycheck. They want to be there. They want to be on your team. They want to grow with you. They want to learn with you. They want to like face challenges together. It's an incredible feeling when you have that team and you have that rally, you have that community. And absolutely, I can absolutely teach you how to do that. Because the backstory, I know this photo looks maybe a little bit silly. I'm on our left, the blonde. My ex-husband is on the right. The guy in the middle, I don't know. It was just someone we took a picture with. My husband and I, we were together for 15 years and we had this plan. And so you tell me if this sounds familiar. And we worked together, we ran a business together. And the plan was, let's build a business, let's focus, let's get rich, and let's put our relationship on the back burner until we've hit our goal, we're financially independent, and then we can ... We postponed building a really strong marriage. We postponed time together in connection at the altar of building a stream of income, building a business, building a career, building this vision of a legacy. However, what happened was the collateral damage was our relationship. And fantastic person, fantastic dad to my kids, but the relationship couldn't survive it. And I hear that all the time with women in business who are like, I don't even sleep in the same room with my husband anymore. Like we work different hours. I haven't seen him. I'm stressed. I'm always stressed. I'm always yelling at him. I feel so bad. Or I'm always busy. I'm on my phone. I don't have time. I don't have the energy to physically connect with my partner. Like all these things, right? And their husband's feeling alone. They're feeling estranged. They're feeling different. And in my case, it was both of us. We were both running a business. And so we were both very separate. And eventually we just grew apart. There was no major drama. There was no major disaster. It was just, we just kind of grew apart, eventually became roommates. And I know a lot of women are in that boat, that they're married because they're married because they have their kids, but they don't have that sense of connection anymore because we're so focused on our career, right? So that's what happened then. So after 15 years together, we got divorced. And we split up, and I had only really ever been a part-time income working mom. I was more or less a stay-at-home parent. I was making about $2,000 a month. And all of a sudden, I now had to figure out how to support myself, plus 3 kids half the time. We had joint custody. So I was, all of a sudden, my expenses went from $2,000 to $8,000 because I had to have a house big enough for everybody, obviously, and then all the expenses that go with my kids. And I have a special needs daughter. And if you have any kids who need ortho, you know what that costs, right? And so all of a sudden, I was terrified. I'm like, what am I going to do? How am I going to possibly pull this off? How am I going to feed my kids, but also be emotionally available to them as we navigate this divorce, right? Because they were younger. This was maybe 6 years ago, right? So I desperately wanted to be a present parent to my kids. I wanted to be there. I wanted to be connected, but I also was like, how am I going to feed everybody? Like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to meet these financial requirements? And I'd never made that much money. I'd never provided before for myself. And so anyway, so what had happened is I started working a lot more hours, right? I started working from like 4 o'clock in the morning until I would take breaks, obviously, to be with them. But I was head down working, trying to figure this out, hugely focused on increasing my income. And I was burning out. I wasn't really sleeping. I was stressed out. I knew I was angry. I knew I was anxious. And I said, this is not great. This is not good for anybody, for me, for them, for my clients, for my future. This is not going to work. And so I had to make a decision. So what am I going to do? Am I going to keep running this play where I'm working 40, 50, 60 hours a week? Like I'm waking up early in the morning where everybody's sleeping and then working after they all go to bed and then exhausted. Is that my plan? Is that what I'm going to do? Or am I going to figure this out? Am I going to figure out how to actually make more money working less? And I know it sounds cliche, but I had to figure it out. And I made this decision. I was like, no, I am going to figure out how to earn my full-time income working while my kids are at school. I am going to sleep in the morning. I am going to set up a morning routine that kind of resets and restores me. I'm going to work out. I'm going to work while my kids are at school, and I'm going to figure out how to make that be enough hours to pay the bills. I live in Vancouver, Canada. It is a very expensive city. It's not the kind of city where you can get by on $4,000 a month. So I really had to get serious. Like, how am I going to do this? So I was at this crossroads, right? That's kind of what I looked like a lot. And many, many nights I was terrified. I would go to bed and I would cry. I was so scared. I'm like, how am I going to lose my kids? Am I going to like end up with no custody because I can't provide for my family? And terror. Like if you've been in this experience, you know what I'm talking about. Just like this terror of how am I going to pull this off? But I dug in and I tried so many things. So in attempts to get more done while working less hours, I tried time management systems, waking up at 4, which a lot of moms do, productivity hacks, time-saving tech tools, taking only high-value projects, so technically taking higher profitable projects, theoretically earning less time, more money in less time, scaling the business down, taking less projects, thinking it would free me up my time, but I didn't. Now all of a sudden I wasn't making enough money. Delegation bootcamp training. So there was actually teaching how to delegate, but there's no training on how to hire somebody. Like, where do you get this person? How do you find somebody who's actually good, right? Plus anything else I could think of. Again, this was survival. This was not a game. Like if I could not provide, I was not going to be able to keep my kids and keep a roof, food. So this was urgent. I had to do this and I was going to fall apart. I was going to have a breakdown if I didn't figure out how to work smarter. But none of these things helped solve the real problem that I was still doing the majority of the work by myself. I knew I had no choice but to build a team. So I dug in. I read everything. I read everything I could read about delegation and training and resource management. And I was one of those people who had hired people, but it wasn't really going that great. Like I had support, but I wasn't really working any less. I was still in this boat where I would delegate something, but then I'd have to control it and manage it. And I was still all in everything. So it wasn't really happening. So you've got the EMITs, we got leadership training, all these different things. So I dug in deep. And then what happened was the year after I got divorced, I ended up paying myself over $100,000 of income from my business, working part-time, and not $100,000 in sales. We're talking 6 figures income. Like I paid myself over 100 grand. And from before I was paying myself $2,000 a month, working part-time. This was now working part-time. So I did it. I know how I did it. And I talk to women all the time and they're like, oh my God, like I'm so tired. Like I need to know, I need to fix this. This is not sustainable. Okay, let's do this. I can teach you. I did it myself. I know how to do it. I can teach you how to do it. Because it's just a skill. Like I said, this is a skill. Until now, if you haven't figured out how to build and lead and enjoy the benefits of an incredible team, it's not that it's impossible. You just need to learn the skills of how to do that. So now, You can see I've got time with the kids. This is a picture of my son and I. We went to Alaska. We went on a cruise, the four of us. I'm still a one-income household. I'm still the only one paying the bills around here. But now it's like I go to every volleyball game, every event. Like I mentioned, I have a daughter with special needs, helping her with her homework. We spend tons of time together. And that would not be possible if I didn't have a team. If I was the one who had to do everything myself, it would not be possible. I would have to choose family or my finances. But through team building, I know how to have both. So what we're going to cover today, secret number one, for hiring to enable you to work less hours, you need to be intentional about finding and hiring amazing, not just good, teammates. This is the key. People tell me all the time, oh, I hired somebody and it didn't work out. The person you hired is probably not that good. The key to freedom with leading a team is you have fantastic people on your team. So how do you do that? How do you find and hire incredible people, not just average, but amazing people? Secret number two, how can you find, hire, and manage competent, amazing teammates without needing any recruitment or management experience? This is the second fear I hear from people. Okay, that sounds great. I've never run a team. I've never been a boss. I don't know how to manage anybody. I don't know. Don't I need some training on this? Don't I need some background in HR? Shouldn't I hire a placement agency to do this for me? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think so. I can teach you how to do it. I mean, I have been a recruiter in my life. I've hired hundreds and hundreds of people in a previous career, but I know what I did, and I can teach you how I did it, how to separate the ones you want from the ones you don't very quickly. I can absolutely teach you how to do that. Number three, how to hire and manage a team without it adding even more work to your plate. This is probably the biggest complaint I hear with women in business. Is I just don't want to deal with the adult daycare. It's going to be more trouble than it's worth. It's faster to do it myself. It's just going to create more headaches, more quality problems. Not true. What if you could hire people better at what you do than you? In a world of 6-7 billion people, what if you could hire people who are independent, autonomous, responsible? What about that, right? Does that option exist? So how about this? Let's take a second. Visualize yourself making your target income while working only 25 to 30 hours a week. This is 5 to 6 hours a day. So again, my goal was while my kids were at school, 9:30 to 2:30. That was my window because I had to drive them back and forth to school. What would that look like? How would your life be different if you could earn your target income working literally part-time? Would that look like you can sleep in a little bit, maybe sleep until 7 instead of waking up at 4? Would that look like time with your kids every night with no pressure to be on your phone? Would that look like a more connected relationship to your partner? Would that look like time to go to a yoga class? Would that look like going for brunch with your mom in the middle of the week? What would that look like? So this is what I want you to start to think about is as we're going through this, how would your life be different if you could earn the same amount of money on half the time? Okay, let's get into it. Secret number one, for hiring to enable you to work less hours, you need to be intentional about finding and hiring amazing, not just good, teammates. If you've ever read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, you've seen this before. We have the cash flow quadrant. Employee, self-employed, business owner, investor. So most women that I speak to, most business moms, are in this self-employed category, where whether you're a landscaper or a seamstress or a coach or a nanny or whatever it is, you are self-employed. Maybe you run a digital marketing agency. Maybe you're a lawyer. Maybe you're a real estate agent. Maybe you run a gardening business thing. So technically, yeah, you have the freedom to make your own decisions, but you own a job. And nobody wants that, right? Like we didn't quit a job to start another job. And so as we move over into the cash flow quadrant, and we move up into the upper right, into the business owner, Robert Kiyosaki says there's two pieces to this: other people's time, other people's money. So in most cases, how we scale, how we grow is through hiring teams of people who can support us. And this could be a team as simple as someone who's a housekeeper in your house. It could be a part-time nanny, an accountant, a virtual assistant. It could be someone to actually support you, some skilled support. So for example, in my business of running a web agency, web developers, web designers, project managers, quality assurance, skilled support, right? So I don't have to do everything. So what we're going to talk about is how to move yourself over to the B category. So the people are working and money is being made without you needing to log every hour, track every single minute of your time. So this is, as I mentioned before, this is the key. Finding great people. A myth of recruitment is that we can change people. We can't. We find amazing people. Like I said, in a world of 7 billion people, amazing people are everywhere. We want them on our team. We don't want to find someone who's an F and try to make them an A. We want to find the A's and put the A's to work on our team. We're not like a missionary of trying to convert someone who's not that awesome into being someone awesome. No, we are going to ignore all the talent that is not a good fit for what we do, and we are going to find the best talent for our team. So how I used to build a team, this is what most people do, is they hire on the rapport method. So before I knew how to do this, I would meet somebody, if I was hiring a web developer, for example, and if I liked them, I'd be like, great, you got the job. I wouldn't do the legwork. I wouldn't check references. I wouldn't do any tests. I wouldn't give them practice jobs. I wouldn't put them on a test project. I would just hire them based on like the chemistry I felt with this person. This hiring and hoping method is so flawed. So a lot of women do this. They're like, oh, she was so nice. I want to give her the job. Ooh. Like I used to do that. I totally get what that is. However, that is not going to help you build a successful business. So how we do it, there's a system, there's a process. So number one, before hiring anyone, know exactly what you're looking for. So you go in with a plan. I need this, I want this. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. I'm going to teach you how to figure out what that is per your personality, per your availability, per your job requirements. What do you want? Okay, let's figure that out. Do your numbers and have a plan for how this hire is going to help your business grow and not just cost more money. A big fear a lot of moms in business have is it's expensive. They feel like, oh my gosh, I can't afford to hire somebody else. I can barely afford to pay myself. Well, hiring is always a moneymaker if you know how to do it properly. And again, that's something absolutely I'm going to look forward to teaching you. Before hiring anyone, have a game plan for how you're going to vet their skills, their reliability, and their work style to make sure it's a good fit. This is not a game. This is not an accident. We know what we're doing and we're going to find it. We know who we want. We're going to find them. How are we going to figure that out though? How are we going to know? How are we going to separate those who are talking a good game from those who actually know what to do? And I'm going to teach you how to do that as well. Using a simple task management system that makes it easy for everyone to be on the same page and understand the expectations. This is a huge time kill. We bring in someone awesome. How are we going to make sure that it's clean and it's simple and it's straightforward? How are we going to minimize mistakes? How are we going to set this person up for success? What are we going to do as the team leader to ensure that they are ready and they are supported in them doing their job? Number 5, develop a communication system and a schedule that works for everyone involved. Number 6, graciously fire anyone who proves to be a bad fit for your team. This is how you do it. And in the program, in the coaching program together, I will deep dive into all of these items with you. One-on-one, we will go through this together. We will plan this out. We will mark this all out, lay it all out. Your system, your focus, your priorities, your skills, your personality, your business model. We will map this out. One-on-one, do this together. And I will teach you step by step of how this is done. I figured out, it took me years to figure this out. I can teach you how to do it in 8 weeks. My total investment to learn all of this, 4 years of personal and professional struggle, worried if I was going to go bankrupt and burn out. You heard the story. It was not pretty. I spent a lot of time in therapy trying to figure this out. I was beside myself, traumatized, trying to survive this. Countless numbers of hours of stress and sleepless nights, hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost earnings from not knowing how to find, manage, and keep amazing people. I had a lot of people who I underutilized. I brought in people that I had to fire. Although I've never had anybody quit, I have fired a lot of people. But I have not had to fire anybody in a very, very long time. So no churn, no waste, very few mistakes. So case study number 1. I had a client, and her name was Brianna. And like me, she ran a web design business. And she was looking for support and could not find a designer who was doing a good job. She was just stressed out all the time, losing money, people quitting, coming and going. And it's like, look, we got to stop this. I taught her how to hire an incredible person, how to get this done. She did it. She locked someone in. They've been working together for like a year and a half. They do tons of incredible work together, make so much money, no more headaches, no more chasing, no more cleanup. She did it. She locked it in. Case study number 2. This is a story of a client of mine named Vanessa. And Vanessa was having a baby. And she was terrified. She'd built this branding agency. And she was terrified that having the baby would put her out of business, essentially. She was so afraid of like, how am I going to be a mom? How am I going to keep this going? She'd spent 10 years building this agency. And she was thinking, I need to work part-time. I need to like fire half my clients. I don't know what I'm going to do. And it's like, well, why? Why would you have to do that? Like, why don't we just hire somebody to cover you? So whether it's help at home, so whether again, that was like a nanny or someone in her actual business or a combination. So what we did is we hired someone to support her. We hired her an assistant to cover all the admin, all the tasks that she was doing. And now she could focus exclusively on the branding work. And so she works part-time, making more money than she did before, there with her daughter, and has support helping her with estimations, reporting, document management, estimating, like whatever it is, right? So who this system works for, let's go through it one more time. The solopreneur just getting started and hasn't hired anybody yet. So if this is you, if you are working alone and you have never hired anybody, I will teach you how to hire somebody, how to hire great people right from the beginning. The solopreneur who tried hiring someone, got bad results, and they're hesitant to try again. This is a kind of joke that this is like PTSD. It's like you're dating. You date someone, they were a bad boyfriend, and you don't want to date again. It's kind of like that. It's like, well, what if you could know how to filter out those dates better so you don't have that headache, right? The micropreneur with a team of small team, 1 to 5. That was like me, working crazy hours, not convinced they have the right people. Or a micropreneur with a small team of 1 to 5. They're also working crazy hours, but they're not sure they have the skills. So they may have a team, but they're not sure are they any good. How do I lead them? How do I get the best out of them? So if you're anywhere in this spectrum in your team building journey, you are absolutely in the right place. I can absolutely teach you how to do this. I can absolutely help you build a team to cut your work hours in half to free up your time. Absolutely can do that. Secret number 2, how to successfully find and hire amazing contractors without having any HR management experience. This is what a lot of us do. And like I was saying before, this is what we call like pretty woman hiring, is we think that we can take anyone and make them anything. And this works on TV, right? But it's not true, right? It's not true. We work with what we got. We know what we want. And the key is in having a system to filter. Okay, so the key is for finding great people is having an assessment process. So we can know, okay, we have this person. How are we going to vet them? How are we going to like check the boxes, ask the questions, do the background checks, check their work? How are we going to figure it out before they're making mistakes on our dime? Right? That's what we want to do, is we want to stack the front end to clarify, to interview. And you don't need to be an HR genius to do this. I have created a process where it's very straightforward, and they separate themselves as they go through that funnel. So for example, how do you do that? Number one, you write a crystal clear description of exactly what you're looking for in a potential candidate, and then turn it into a detailed job post. And as I mentioned, I will absolutely teach you how to do all of this. Conduct an introductory interview call that adds a second layer of filtering to the process. Assign a small trial project to eligible candidates as an additional layer of filtering. Hire a remaining candidate on a trial basis with a clear understanding of the expectations for them to keep the job, and allow you to filter them out if they're not the right fit. So that's how we do it. So how do you find already amazing contractors? You know what you're hiring them for. You do the interview, you add filters, trial project, tell them how they win in this job and how they would fail. Clear. They know how to win. Everyone's on the same page. Eliminates the drama. So, as I mentioned before, I have hired and fired many people in my career. And like I said, years ago, during COVID, we were so busy and I needed another web developer. And I asked my network and I said, hey, send me somebody. And I was referred to one guy by 3 different people. I'm like, okay, excellent. Didn't interview, didn't do anything. I just threw him into a job immediately. Turned out the guy was not that good. He was not anywhere near the standards of my team, but I hadn't checked. I hadn't asked any questions. I just threw him into multiple projects. Ended up having to have each project completely rebuilt. He couldn't do it, fired him, but the rebuild process cost me 5 figures. 5 figures. I made no money on so many projects because I had to pay for it to be done twice. So I learned the hard way. And since that time, that was the last time that happened, I am now so much more careful. Do you know what you're doing? Do you have the personality that's going to work? Do you have the work ethic? Do you have the communication style? Do you have the availability? Cut the drama. It doesn't have to be a gamble. A lot of people think hiring is a total gamble. Like, oh my gosh, who? No, absolutely not. This is not roulette. This is not Russian roulette. This is very strategic. I know what I want. I know what I want you to do. Let me find the right person for that job, the right person on the bus, and let's go. Let's go to work together. So case study is I had a client, and her name was Rose, and she's a content creator. And she was just burning out, like trying to do it all the time. And she has 1 million followers on Facebook, 1 million followers on TikTok, creates beautiful work. But just was always getting sick, like always like on and off and be taking weeks off work because she was just burnt out and like immune problems. And I was like, why are you always so sick? Like, what is going on? And she would just work, and then she would burn out and she would rest, and then she'd come back to work once she'd feel better, and then she'd work, and then she'd burn out. And it was just this cycle. It's like, this is not working. We need to stop the crazy. So we stopped it. We looked at it. We followed the procedure. We figured out what she wanted. We figured out what she needed. We put a person in place, and now she can focus on doing the part that she loves to do, like the video editing, for example, but someone else can handle all the comments on her TikTok, for example. They can handle the brand outreach. They can handle all these other things. And she's free to do what she wants to do, because the key as an entrepreneur is it is a marathon. It is not a sprint. It is a marathon. If you cannot survive it, you're not going to make it. And how do you ensure you survive it? You work in a way that's sustainable. You work in a way that's scalable. You work in a way that you can survive it. You can get up and do it every day without burning out. So this is a second one here. I had another client. Her name was Caroline. And Caroline was a real estate agent. And Caroline was working evenings and weekends. And she was really struggling. She had 2 young kids, who I mentioned before. She was feeling very, very estranged from her husband. And she's like, when I come home at night, I don't want to be cooking. I don't want to be cleaning. I want to be hanging out with my family. And so we got a housekeeper. And we figured out how to help her hire help in her house, so that someone else was doing all the cleaning. They were doing the meal prep. So in a night where she was in and out, like showing houses, In that time when she was home, she could be there. She wasn't cleaning. She wasn't doing laundry. She wasn't making dinner. Dinner was made. Laundry was done. She could be with her family. So that was the hire in her case. Her hire was not in her work. It was in her business. Or so it was in her home life. Secret number 3. How to hire and manage a team without it adding even more work to your plate. This is probably the biggest concern people have. Oh, I don't want to run an adult daycare. Oh, I don't want to chase anybody. Oh, the work quality is going to be a problem. And now I got to babysit. No. Absolutely not. That is absolutely not the case. If you have amazing people on your team and they know what they're doing and you are organized, they can work without you. They do not need you at all. You will actually be in their way if you interfere. So the thing that I learned as well is when I started my business, I am not a web developer or a web designer. So I never had any experience of actually doing the thing that people I was hiring would do. So I couldn't interfere. So from that day, from day one, I had to bring in people who were completely independent, who could work without me because I couldn't help them. So that has hugely worked in my favor in that I am not able to get involved. However, most small business owners, if you are let's say a brand consultant, and you know how to be a brand consultant and you hire someone else, you know how to tell them how to do their job. So you're kind of doing your job and you're doing their job. But the key to leading a team without needing to manage everything is everyone has a lane. This is my lane, this is your lane, this is your lane, this is your lane. And figuring out the lanes and how to stay in those lanes is absolutely so stressful for so many people because they're just like trying to look at everything and trying to deal with everything at the same time. That is not necessary. So we work in our lane, we have a process, we're organized. Everyone knows what to do. Everyone has a game plan. We have a process for assigning tasks, managing expectations, managing deliverables, managing timing, managing pricing. We have a process for how to do that. And I'm absolutely going to teach you how to do that. So this is my no stress management system. Number 1, choose an easy project management software tool. Asana, Trello, Breeze, doesn't matter. ClickUp, whatever. Just pick something. Create a central board where everyone can see their priorities for the day. So when they start, they can see their name and they can see what's up for today. Before your team starts work for the day, make sure everyone has their to-do list. It's clear. Passwords, documents, files, notes, Loom videos, deadlines, everything is clear. Everything is there. So when they start work, they can just start work. They don't need to talk to you. You don't need to have a meeting. You don't need to call. You don't need to talk. Everybody can just rock and roll. Everyone can move. When they start work, send a quick Slack message, say, hey, how you doing? Anything you need? And you leave them alone. That's it. You leave them alone because you've prepped them. You've organized them. Management gets difficult when it's messy, when you're emailing one thing and sending another thing, and you're Slack messaging something, you're texting something, or you're on a call and you send the call. No. We as the leaders, we organize. Or whether it's someone, if you have a project manager, someone has to organize and prep your team. They know exactly what to do. No confusion, no meetings, no mistakes. So that's how you do it. You need a process. And then casually hold white space in your day to be available to them in the case that they should have questions or need anything. But now that you're not doing everything, you have that time, right? You have that space. So you're around, you can get it done. So step 3 cuts your task management time by 90% because a lot of leaders think that our teams can mind read. We tell them we want this done, and we assume they know what that means. That's a mistake. If we do not tell our team exactly what we want them to do, by how, by when, or within the realm of your job. I mean, obviously there's like license for creativity and things like that. But unless the directions are clear, you're going to create chaos. You are going to struggle managing a team. Your results are going to be bad. Your quality is going to be less. So us as the leaders, someone on the team needs to prep and organize our crew. No mind reading. This is what I want. This is what I want. That's it. So case study number one, I had a client, her name was Christina, and she was having a really hard time with quality from her team. She was constantly having to check everything. Stuff was late, stuff was disorganized, things were being missed. And we talked and we looked at her process, and her process was chaos. She was in Google Drive links here, emails here, Slack messages here, phone calls here, tons of meetings, no congruency, no clarity on what the tasks were. She wanted to run a really fun work culture. And so she didn't want it to be like so strict, and she wanted it to be loose, but that doesn't work. Loose does not work when you're trying to get stuff done. So I was like, okay, let's clean this up. Let's create a process. Let's create a project management system, task management system. And then once everybody's doing their thing and they're feeling great about their work and they're delivering high quality results, then have fun. Go for it. Absolutely. Be the fun boss. But at the end of the day, this is a job. This is a job. You have results to deliver to your clients, to your customers, right? You can still be cool and get stuff done. And this is another thing as well, is sometimes we have clients, we have situations where our team doesn't know what to do. There is no system. There is no process. It is unclear how to go about getting anything accomplished. So as the team leader as well, it's that process of making it very obvious. This is how we do this here. No mind reading required. Because what you're going to find is when you put amazing people into a system that makes sense, they will deliver day and night, and they will deliver beyond what you want. But we need to lay the groundwork for them. No confusion. Confusion leads to just problems on teams. Clean it up. Create a safe, open place for your team to work and to thrive. And you'll see the management problems go out the window. They're just gone. It doesn't happen. So my 3-secret summary. For hiring to enable you to work less hours, you need to be intentional about finding and hiring amazing, not just good, teammates. Secret number 2, how you can find, hire, and manage competent, amazing teammates without needing any recruitment or management experience. Again, it's the process, it's the system. Number 3, how to hire and manage teammates without it adding even more work to your plate. We've talked about this. How is that done? You're organized. You're organized as a project manager. That's how you cut the headaches. So bringing it all together. So from what we've covered today, can you see how following the Success Without the Sacrifice system can help you free up your time and allow you to focus on what matters most? Can you see how by following this framework, you can hire and manage amazing teammates without it jeopardizing your income? Does it make sense? Right? Because it's great to work part-time, but if it costs you money, in a lot of cases, that's not a negotiable option. That's not doable. But what if you can have both? What if you can have your time and you can have your income? And you have amazing people around you, so you're supported in the work that you do. You can take more clients, you can grow your business, you can scale your business. Or you keep your business the same size and you just work less hours, right? The options are endless. It's how you want it to be. It's however you want it to be. And so let me ask you a question. I know I talk fast. I know I have given you so much information. You probably feel like it's like the water coming out of that fire hose. So what about getting this done in your business? What about us working together and we can set this up? Because the thing about what I know about being a busy business mom is me giving you a course is not going to fix the problem. You already don't have any time. You're not going to take a course. You're not going to have the time to learn the skills in the course. So what I'm here to offer is a one-on-one coaching program. We do this together. What happens in some cases like this, when I meet business moms who want a team, is there's 2 ways to go about this. One way is you can hire a placement agency. You tell them what you want and they bring you people. That is absolutely fine. Some people love that route. My opinion is team building is probably the most valuable skill that you can have as an entrepreneur. So I am here to teach you how to do it yourself. So you could pay thousands of dollars to a placement agency to send you somebody. But if you're the kind of person who wants that control, you want to know how to do this, how to vet, how to place, how to onboard, how to manage. So if you have to hire somebody, you have to change somebody, you want to add somebody, you want to fire somebody, you know how to do it. I am absolutely here to teach you how to do this. I have hired hundreds of people in my career. I have run my own businesses for 30 plus years. I have a team. I run another business outside of my coaching work. I run a successful business that essentially runs without me. I can teach you how to do the same thing. I can save you years of time. I can get this in place for you, help you get this in place in weeks. You could be weeks away from taking 10, 20 hours a week off your schedule. Clean, well managed, no stress, very little risk. We can do this together. I'm here to handhold. I'm here to teach you one-on-one how to do this. Let's build a team around your personality, your availability, your business type. Let's do this. You don't have to keep living like that. Nothing is going to change in your schedule until you get some help. You're going to be on this cycle forever until you stop, take some of the work off, bring someone in. You will be working 40, 50 hours a week, not being the mom you want to be, not being the wife you want to be, not taking care of your body, not being the daughter, not being the friend, because you don't have any time. The time is just on the other side of learning how to build teams. Could be one person, could be 10. I know how to do it. I can teach you how to do it. So if that sounds good, if that sounds like a skill that is worth your time to learn, go ahead and book a call below. You and I will get on a call. We will set up a time. We'll go through all the details. We'll answer all your questions. And then if it feels like it's a good fit for you, we will get started. We will get started immediately. We will get this moving. We will change the way you run your business. We will change the way you live your life. Imagine, again, working 25 instead of 50 hours a week. Why not? It's just a skill. It's just a skill. How do you do that, right? So if that sounds like you, if you are tired, if you are worried for the state of your relationship, if you're feeling incredible, overwhelming mom guilt because you're not around, you're missing things, you're tired, you're not putting it in the way you want to be back in shape. You want to have a deeper spiritual connection. You want to be able to show up for those people that you love in a way that is meaningful to you. You need some time. How do you get some time? Work less in your business? Well, okay, maybe. But now you've got a money problem, right? Let's work smart. Let's get some teams and team members in place. Free up your time. You can focus on the work that matters the most, that pays the most. You can grow your income while working less. So if that sounds good, go ahead and book a call below. I look forward to chatting. Please prepare any questions. And I look forward to getting you started on a new trajectory in your business. I've done it. My clients have done it. You can do it too. I'll see you on the other side.